everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Married to Medicine Season 5, Episode 5, which was titled Guess Who's Coming to NOLA. So, you know, the ladies went on a trip to New Orleans, and so Toya is telling them that she needs them to turn up more because they have been pretty boring thus far in New Orleans. So they get into a discussion about the fact that Toya is upset with Quad because Quad won't talk about her sex life with Dr. G. And Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie tell Toya that she can't force people to open up about what they aren't ready to talk about. So the group hops on the bus, and Simone refuses to tell them where they're going. You know, she wants it to be a surprise. So while they're on the bus, Toya and Dr. Heavenly get to drinking because that's what they do best. And then the Contessa lady, because Dr. Heavenly kept saying the lady name was Contessa, and Contessa. Like, I don't know where she was saying that, but Contessa finally has enough of it and lets her know that that is not how to pronounce her name, and if she keep calling her that, she's not going to respond to her. So Heavenly thinks it's funny, and, you know, pretends like she was innocent and everything, but Contessa returns the shade by suggesting that Dr. Heavenly had a speech impediment, and that's why she didn't say anything in the beginning. She said, I don't make fun of people with disability. So, okay, Dr. Heavenly, you done met your match. So when they arrive at their destination, they realize that they are at one of them swamp tours out there with them alligators. And so Toya slipped and fell as they was walking to the boat. You know, so everybody laughing at her. And then Dr. Jackie says that she's not enjoying the boat ride. Well, at first everybody was like, they ain't getting on the boat. So, you know, Simone told them to be a little adventurous, so they get on the boat. And Dr. Jackie says she ain't having fun because she's afraid of alligators, and Simone tells her that she needs to start trying new things. So when they get to the part of the boat ride, they see some pigs, and Heavenly says that one of the pigs looks like Mariah. You know, but Toya say, that's not cute, and why are you angry at Mariah? Like, leave Mariah alone. She ain't here to defend herself. So Heavenly denies that she's angry, and Toya, in her confessional, says that she secretly asked Mariah to meet them in New Orleans, and she hopes that it won't be a lot of drama. And I'm like, Toya, why would you do that? Why would you do that? So Mariah arrives in New Orleans for the trip, and when she gets to the hotel, you know, the ladies aren't there. So she knows that the last time she saw them, which I think was at the reunion, you know, things didn't go well, and they was arguing and making digs at each other, and people was just really bearing their souls and telling each other what they really thought about. So she, you know, decides to make herself comfortable and wait in the lobby, you know, for the ladies to get back. So when they finally arrive back at the hotel, now Toya is nervous because she don't know, like, if this was a good idea or not. So when they enter their suite, Mariah says, surprise. Actually, I think, was it Mariah? So, you know, when they get back in the suite and everything, and Mariah, you know, pops out and says, surprise, you know, everybody looking confused, like, what you doing here? So, of course, Mariah feeling some kind of way, you know, so she was like, you know, y'all act like y'all not excited to see me, you know, so Simone lets her know that, not that she wasn't happy to see her, she was just surprised to see her, and that, you know, she just didn't know how to take, Mariah being there. So Toya, you know, explains that she invited Mariah to New Orleans because she wants all the bad blood to end. And Dr. Jackie says that, you know, she's really nervous about Mariah being there. And Dr. Jackie said Lucifer has arrived. And they were standing in the room, because wasn't they in the Lucifer rooms? It's like, y'all so messy. So over in the other room, the other ladies, you know, they're talking about their marriages and everything. So Quad, you know, lets them know that it's not that she's unhappy with Dr. G. It's just like, you know, they got a lot of things that they need to work on. And Heavenly says that Quad should be happy she's not single. And Quad thinks that this is nonsense. And she tells them that she doesn't feel like Dr. G appreciates her. And so Heavenly was like, you know, maybe there's something deeper, you know, with him, you know, because they all know that Quad just married that man because he was a doctor. And like Mariah said, she was homeless. So she was just looking for the comeuppance, but not realizing that even if you marry somebody for money or whatever, a place to live, a car to drive or whatever, you still got to live with that person. You still got to live with their habits. And you got to contribute to the relationship. Now, this man that gave you this lifestyle, Quad, the only thing he wants in return is a baby. And you can't even give him a baby. And you're going to mess around here and be like Dr. Jackie. And he going to be gone out there and found somebody else. So you really need to check yourself, Quad. So Heavenly says that Dr. G, you know, may be upset that at 50 years old, he still doesn't have a child. And so Contessa says that it was insensitive for Heavenly to say that because some women aren't able to have children, even though we all know that that ain't the case with Quad. And then Contessa said that she thinks that Quad's uterus is Quad's business and nobody else's. So Heavenly says that, you know, she was only speaking the truth as a friend, but Contessa feels like Heavenly doesn't really know how to be a friend to anyone because she's always saying hurtful things. But, you know, she needs to understand that Heavenly just don't have a filter and that they accept that about Heavenly. So they start arguing after Heavenly tells Contessa to shut up, and Contessa, you know, doesn't back down. And so Contessa told her to shut the F up. So, okay, Dr. Heavenly, you might want to chill out right now. So over in her confessional, you know, Contessa says that Heavenly always act like an attack dog and she should never place all the blame on a woman when it comes down to a troubled marriage. So at this point, Contessa has decided that she does not want a relationship with Heavenly and that she's done with Heavenly. And if that means that she can't be friends with the rest of the group, so be it. So then Toya walks in the room and Mariah follows behind her, and then Heavenly laughs like, oh hell. Like, what in the world is about to happen? And then Quad, you know, they was like, so Mariah, you know, she was trying to give everybody a hug. It'd be nice and everything, but Quad, you know, didn't want her to hug her, you know, because Quad is the one that want to hold on to grudges. So then Heavenly was like, it's like the night of the living dead, and Mariah keeps coming back. So Mariah introduces herself to Contessa, and Contessa and Heavenly confirmed that they have been arguing. And so then Toya got all upset and everything because I don't know what kind of reaction Toya wanted, you know, but she was like, this some BS, y'all being fake and phony, and why don't y'all react to Mariah the way that you want her to react? And then everybody was looking around like, okay, you brought her here, surprised us with her, like we just trying to be nice and not create a scene or whatever, but Toya was all in her feelings. And then Contessa lets them know that she's thinking about leaving for Atlanta early because she can't deal with Heavenly. Now y'all done brought this other woman in a situation that nobody seems to want to be there, and this just ain't the trip that I was planning. So back in Atlanta, the husbands all go to a cigar bar except for Curtis, of course. So they tell Contessa's husband Scott that Contessa will come back as a different woman, and she probably ain't gonna like none of the women that she went on that trip with. And so then back in New Orleans, Quad and Mariah, you know, they have a really tense moment, but still try to interact with each other. And so in her confessional, Mariah says that she misses Quad, but just being cordial to her is the best thing that can take place. And so Heavenly tries to make things, you know, right with Contessa. You know, she apologizes, you know, for the way she did and just told, you know, she didn't mean any harm by it. And so Heavenly asked Dr. Jackie for some advice on what she should do. And she was like, you know, why am I always in a mess with people? So Heavenly, you know, says that she wants to do better, and she asked Contessa to join her and Jackie for a conversation. And so Dr. Jackie pretty much told Heavenly that she can sometimes be too harsh with her truth. And so Heavenly apologizes, and Contessa, apologizes as well. And so she admits that she was immature and didn't have to have the kind of interaction or react to Heavenly the way that she did. So then later on, Simone makes it clear that she's really upset that Toya invited Mariah to New Orleans. So at least you're being truthful, and the rest of the ladies need to be truthful also. So Mariah tells Toya that she did her part, and the rest is up to the other ladies as far as, making peace goes. Like, if they're willing to accept her and give her another chance, and she's there for it. But if not, she ain't kissing nobody behind, because she's over the situation. She wants things to be peaceful, but they gotta want things to be peaceful also. Back in Atlanta, the men are talking about being fathers and being parents and everything, and what's going on, with their kids. And then Dr. G, he's sitting there listening, but it's obvious that he's feeling some kind of way, and it's hurting him that he can't be a part of the conversation since he doesn't have any kids. And so he tells the husbands that he wants kids, and Quad. So he tells the husbands that he really wants kids, but Quad ain't giving him no kids, and he don't know what to do. So back in New Orleans, Dr. Jackie tells Quad that the real reason she's not happy to see Mariah is because she's afraid that Mariah will say something hurtful about Curtis cheating on her, and that she still isn't over what Mariah said to her at the reunion. But Mariah was just telling the truth when she told Jackie that, she low down and dirty on the low down and dirty. I mean, she wasn't lying about what she said, because Jackie knows she got some nasty in her too. So Quad confides in Jackie, about her troubled marriage, and she breaks down in tears, and she says that she feels unappreciated. And Jackie admits that she knows that Curtis feels the same way. So the two of them have like a heart-to-heart conversation about having to, like, they think that they're doing everything. And so Jackie was comparing herself to Dr. G, that they are, working and providing for the home, and they, think that everything is cool and the person is appreciative of them, but they don't realize that the person at home is feeling unappreciated. And so Quad, I guess she didn't want to hear that, because then she went on to say that Dr. G can be very hurtful with some of the things that he says to her. So Jackie says that, she filed for divorce, but it was painful to watch Curtis leave, which I guess it was, because they've been married a really long time. And so Quad says that, the lack of reciprocity is hurtful to her, and she doesn't know how much she can take. And I just felt like during that conversation, it was sort of like a tit for tat, and like Quad didn't want to hear what Jackie was trying to say to her. It was like she was almost trying to say, well, your situation is that, but my situation is more painful and more hurtful. And so people like Quad, you can't really talk to, because she thinks she know it all. So Jackie, you might want to just stick with Simone and share your heartache and your heartbreak. So later on, Simone tells Jackie that Mariah being there has made it hard for them to connect about their marriage issues. And so she also says that having Mariah there is affecting Quad's energy. And so she tells Toya that she needs to ask Mariah what her intentions are with the group. So then later on, they eat dinner, and Quad says that she's going to pretend like Mariah isn't there. So she gonna act like Candy, how Candy keep pretending that Portia isn't there. And which ain't gonna work, because how somebody just sitting there in the room with you and you just gonna act like the person ain't there? And then what happens when the person says something to you? Like, you just gonna sit there and ignore them, or you gonna just too much negative energy going into stuff that can be settled with a simple conversation, a simple I apologize, and let's just move on from here. So Simone says that Mariah is the elephant in the room, and Toya says that her being there is about women coming together and moving on from the past. So Mariah thanks Toya for inviting her, and she says that she never thought that Toya would be the one to reach out to her. And she was like, it's some real shit, and the grown-ups get it and the kids don't. So I'm like, right, you can't be sitting at the table when they trying to mend the fence and be throwing shade at people. So Mariah says that they can discuss their beefs back in Atlanta. Plus she feels like she's apologized enough. And then Quad says that she is still upset that Mariah said that she was homeless back in the day. And she was like, you know, she'll do anything in her power to make people feel less of me. I'm just like, Quad, let it go. So Sabonis says that they put everything on the table right there, right then and there. Like, don't take this foolishness back to Atlanta. So Heavenly says that she's ready to make peace with Mariah. And Jackie says that it'll take time for her and Mariah to move forward, but she is open to rebuilding the relationship. And then Quad attempts to speak. Mariah says that she doesn't feel like doing this with her in New Orleans. And I'm like, no. Y'all deal with this right now. So they start arguing, and Toya says that they need to handle issues on their own time because it's getting old. And Quad says that she's not interested. However, she still wants to call Mariah out for her past statements about her. So Mariah was like, let it go. And Quad says that she won't ever discuss her issues with Mariah again. And she says that she's done with her, and I'm done with this whole thing. And I just like, can we move on to something new? Like, I'm more interested about what's going on in the marriages and how they're going to deal with the situations in the marriages than I am with this foolishness between Mariah and Quad. And Quad, I don't know. Have y'all seen that? And so Quad, you just need to, I don't know. I really don't know whose side to take in the whole situation. And I know I kind of lean towards Mariah because I really don't like Quad. But the beef is getting old and y'all too grown for this. So guys, that was it for me. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Leave your comments below. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.